Good motherfucking morning, people. I'm back, bitches. This is the Toker Talk Tuesday motherfucking podcast with your boy Ro. And we are back for another episode of my bullshit. And for those of you who are actually following me and noticed that I didn't put out a podcast last week, what had happened was I had the guest from episode number, I think it was 6, over again, DJ Rigo. I had him over last week and we recorded a podcast. We went for about 2 hours and maybe like 20 minutes. It was the longest podcast I've ever done. But for whatever reason, by the time we were done, we started wrapping it up. We did all the conclusion, we did our outro, we did all that bullshit. I go to hit stop, nothing pops up. 2 hours we sat here talking, thinking we were recording, and nothing got saved. I don't know what the fuck happened. I couldn't find the file anywhere. I hit Control Z like a fucking madman, and nothing happened. That file was just gone. Just disappeared into the ether, never to be seen again. It was episode which rightfully deserves the title number 8, but I'm giving it to this one because I didn't technically release one last week, so this one is going to be number 8. But last week I did a podcast and I just got so mad because that's 2 fucking hours of my life that I'm never going to get back. That could have been some content, but I didn't get. I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck happened. I got so mad. I didn't even Google it. I didn't even try looking up to see if anybody had experienced that same issue. I don't know if it was a time limit threshold that I passed over because it was 2 hours and I've never previously recorded something that long without taking a break. Usually on my podcast, what I do is I'll talk or whatever for about maybe 45 minutes, 50 minutes, maybe an hour, and then I'll hit stop, and then I'll take a break. Usually something interrupts. Other times I just run out of shit to talk about, so I'll just stay quiet, and then I edit it to make it sound like I've been talking the whole time. Yes, that's called cheating, but everyone in Hollywood doesn't, so why not? Fuck it. But last week I didn't do any of that, so it was a straight 2 hours because we're having a good conversation. We're talking, we're bullshitting, we're cracking jokes. It was a great fucking podcast that nobody will ever hear, and I don't even remember because that's how much weed we smoked. First we smoked the blunt, then we smoked the bowl. Well, it wasn't a bowl, it was my bong. We smoked that like 3 times. We're high as hell, we're gone, talking about the most randomest shit, and then we got deep on some parts, like we're actually being real, like super, super real, and it would have made for a great fucking podcast if, I don't know what happened to the recording of it, it just got deleted, it just never saved. I don't know what the fuck happened, but, you know, things happen for a reason. And hopefully that reason is because maybe, I don't know, something was said on there that would have made me look bad in the future. Or maybe something was said that made him look bad in the future. And maybe it had to get deleted. But either ways, whatever the reason was, it got deleted. So this is technically episode number 8. So hopefully I don't get any hate mail. Hey, you skipped a week. Shit happens, alright? I couldn't do it last week because I stayed up. It was like 2 o'clock in the fucking morning by the time that he left. And everything we did just got deleted. Anyways, how the fuck are you guys? Enough talking about my bullshit. How are you guys? Because I haven't heard from you guys in about 2 weeks. And it's been a while since I've been back here. Which is a lie, because, like I said, we were here last week. Anyways, I hope you guys have been good. I hope everything has been amazing for y'all. Hopefully you've got that promotion that you've been searching for. Hopefully, you've gotten them jobs back to back that you've been asking for? Because I know I have. I've been doing pretty good. I've been doing a lot better. It's amazing how things just start to line up whenever you're on the right path. I think that's what's happening to me right now. I think I am opening all these doors that need to be opened at the exact right time that they're needing to be opened, if that made any sense whatsoever. But I think that's what's happening right now because all these little, jobs are coming together. I'm starting to build my foundation. I'm hit the reset button ever since I quit Home Depot. And I don't know if any of y'all have seen that meme on Facebook that's so fucked up. Apparently somebody got fired because he stopped the kidnapping there at Home Depot, and Home Depot was like, well, that's not in our corporate policy and you're not supposed to do that, so we're gonna go ahead and terminate you because that is against our moral values here at Home Depot. We believe that you should be able to take any child as long as it doesn't have a collar on them, because we're Home Depot. We don't give a fuck about the children. We give a fuck about selling you lumber and selling you drywall and selling you nails and screws, because that's what we do here at Home Depot. We are not a fucking daycare. Take care of your kids. Stop letting them run around, because there's forklifts here in operation in between the aisles and they could get ran over. Home Depot. But no, they got fucking fired for stopping the kidnapping, which is terrible. Like, how are you gonna punish somebody for intervening with a child abduction just because it goes? I don't even know what fucking rule it said that he broke, because I don't remember that shit in the training. I never remember hearing anything about child abduction. Maybe it's a good thing that a lot of people there that I know didn't stop the crimes that they seen. They seen like people shoplifting and shit like that, and they're like, you know what, fuck it. It's not my job. It's not my place to say anything about it. Maybe that's what he should have done. He should have just looked the other way, just seen the kid screaming, being held under that guy's arm, just crying for his mom, and just be like, maybe the cult could need some restocking. Should have just went and restocked the cult instead of saving the kid. But anyways, ever since I quit there, I feel like everything's just been lining up. I've had more opportunities come with the logo businesses. I've had, more things that I find for cheap so I could flip. And I've been inspired a lot more whenever I write, which is pretty fucking dope. Cause for a minute I was like in a writer's block. So I just started making beats. I just started focusing on making beats, which maybe plays into that theory that everything happens for a reason. Maybe I had to learn how to make beats, that way I can make better beats to go with the rhymes that I'm writing. Because whenever you make music, it's half production, half lyrics. Unless you're on the radio, then it's 95% production and 2.5% lyrics. The other 2.5% is your, engineer and what he could do with the vocals. But for me, fucking Bill Burr, I feel like it's 50% production, 50% lyrics. If, it's good. The beat should complement the lyrics. It shouldn't overtake. It shouldn't be the main thing that's on the track. I mean, it has to be hot, just like the lyrics have to be hot, but it can't be the main thing that's driving the whole song. Like, your lyrics have to play a very important part in that too, in order for you to be great, which is just the way I feel personally. Like, other people might disagree. They might feel like the production takes lead and the artist just kind of is background support. It's kind of like the beat is the lead singer and the artist is the background singer, just doing the ad libs, just skirt skirt. I don't know. All them fucking ad libs that they're doing, which all they do is just fucking add like a high pass filter to it, which I do sometimes, but I don't do it as often as they do. They rely on it, kind of like fucking auto tune. Sometimes I wonder, should I get auto tune and make myself make better hooks? Cause I don't like the way I sing sometimes on my fucking hooks. Sounds weird. Let me take a drink. Hold on. I'll just edit that shit out. I'm sorry, I got cotton mouth. But yeah, man. That's where I'm at right now in this what would you call it? A pursuit? Your pursuit of happiness, which is the title of my EP coming out on August 25th, 2017. You heard it here first on the Road Podcast, motherfuckers. But that's where I'm at, man. It's been a good little ride. I'm out here. I've been working, and even the other work that I do, like the graphic design, the logo shit, it doesn't feel like work because I'm just drawing and I'm just being creative. It's fun, you know? Like, it doesn't feel like work. It just feels like, you know, I don't know why, whenever you create something, it just releases all the weird shit that you got going on in your head. And you could just, well, whenever you're writing music, whenever you're doing like a logo for something, you can't really put too much. Well, I guess you can if it's your creative like thing. Like if I'm doing an artwork or something like that, or some cover art for a song or a video, you can put passion into it. But if it's like just a logo, I don't really see where too much passion can come from it unless it's your company. But if you're just designing it for another person, it's like, just give me a tree here and then put my name and then do something, which is actually what somebody told me. I hate it whenever people, you know, don't really give me direction. They just want me to do. Like, sometimes it's good because I get to be free, but other times it's like, well, how do I know you would even like the thing that I'm gonna make? Because you don't give me an idea of what it is you're kind of looking for. Like, somebody just told me, I want to make, can you make me a logo for a lawn service? I was like, all right, well, what do you want on the logo? They're like, just lawn service stuff. That was a direct quote. Just lawn service stuff. So I gave him a tree. I gave him a tree and I put his name, and then I put some pinstriping that I made on a notebook, which if you follow me on Instagram, you could actually see the picture that I'm talking about. And that's his logo now. Which, I don't know if I should, well, yeah, I kind of want to post it on my Instagram. That way people will know that I'm also doing graphic design. I can make money off of doing that for artists and other people. I want to try to dedicate a couple hours of each day to working on music. That's my new goal. I want to keep exercising, which these past couple of days I haven't been able to. It's been like 3 days I haven't been able to exercise, and I feel fat. I need to get back exercising tomorrow because it's already 2 o'clock. So whenever I wake up, the first thing I'm gonna do is exercise, and then I'm gonna maybe make me some food because it's probably gonna be late because I like to stay up late. Probably make me some food, do some design work, some Photoshop work, and then maybe around 7, I think 7 would be a good time to come out here and work on music, right? Because sun's already starting to go down. I could leave the AC on, just start making beats or, you know, writing something. I've had a couple just songs just pop up out of nowhere, like songs that I've been stuck on for months. I couldn't think of like a premise or something to write for it, and just lately everything has just been kind of falling into place, which is pretty cool. Which, you know, kind of loops back to what I was talking about, of like everything happens for a reason, because I feel like I'm at the right place to where everything is just falling. I just need to keep working. I just need to keep working. And, hopefully maybe one day this shit will pop off. That's all I could fucking hope for. That's all anybody could hope for. That's why anybody ever fucking dreams, is because you keep working to it, and maybe one day, it happens. If you work hard enough, it should happen. If you don't work hard enough, then it won't happen. Which applies to everything. Even me trying to lose weight, because I'm tired of being fat. It's just not fun anymore. I'm actually a size 30. Last time I bought pants was like a size 33, and those are already starting to fall off. I used to be a size 36 because I like to wear my pants baggy. So I had bought in a size 36. I was maybe like a size 34 if I was wearing pants that actually, rode on my waist. But I used to buy a size 36, and then I had to go down to size 34, and then those started getting kind of baggy. So I bought a 33 thinking, oh, I shouldn't, lose that much more weight. Maybe I'm not that fat. Turns out I was that fat, and now I have these size 33 pants, and they're starting to kind of fall off of me. So I'm like, damn, am I really going to have to go down to a size 32? Because size 32 is going to be pretty difficult to maintain. If I start falling off again, I'm going to have to buy a whole new fucking wardrobe. And I'm tired of buying fucking new wardrobes every couple months, because shit gets expensive. I don't feel like investing that much money into my fucking clothes, because I don't go out that much. But I do need clothes to go to work when I want to be spending money on this shit back here on the garage. I don't really know what else I need. Oh yeah, I need like a little stand, because I don't know if y'all seen the pictures I got on Instagram of the studio. I got a little window right here, and I want to put a little stand and put another monitor right here so I could just be inside the booth and just mess with FL Studio right there, instead of having to go in and out to edit stuff. I could just be in the booth editing. That will be until I can afford me like an engineer or somebody to actually monitor and record my music the way it should be. But right now I'm doing it all myself, making the beats, I'm writing, I'm rapping, I'm mixing, I'm mastering, I'm doing all that shit all by myself. I'm learning. I don't know if it's, gotten any better. I feel it has, because whenever I listen to the sound quality of the shit that I'm releasing now, or that I have, stored in my on my hard drive, it sounds better. It sounds like a lot better. My overdubs aren't, clashing with the main vocals anymore. They're kind of, lying underneath them. For the most part, they're kind of clear, the vocals. And the beats are actually starting to get pretty dope. Like, if I go back and I start listening to some of the old stuff that I have, I'm like, I can't believe I was, bobbing my head to this shit. Like, some of this sounds really weird. It don't sound bad. It don't sound terrible. Like, I've definitely heard worse beats on YouTube. But I'm like, I can't believe I wrote a whole song to this. Like, I feel like I wasted my time. But, keeping my pen sharp while I was out here making these beats. I was out there writing still, too, because you have to keep writing, because you can't stop writing. Because I feel like it's like, I don't know what to compare it to. It's like, playing the sport. Like, yeah, you could still come back and you might be pretty decent at it, but you're not going to be on your game like if you were playing that sport the entirety of, your life or something like that. Right? That makes sense. Damn, when the fuck did I get so fucking deep? When did it start becoming like a therapy session and shit? I'm over here, I keep talking about myself. What's been going on in the fucking world? Last I heard, I don't really watch the news that much, so I'm kind of stuck in my own bubble. Last thing I heard was Donald Trump's kid was admitting to meeting like Russian people about Hillary. I don't know if he committed a crime. I don't as much as I would like it, I don't really believe that he might be indicted or he might be impeached, because that seems too easy. And Donald Trump kind of reminds me of like a cancer that they say that they caught late stages, but it gets removed easily, and you're like, I don't know, that kind of seemed kind of quick for it to be as if it was really as severe as you guys said it was. And then a couple of months later it comes back and they're like, oh, you know what, we didn't remove all of it, there's still some there. That's what Donald Trump feels like to me. Like, it feels like we might have enough stuff to get him out, but somehow he just slides by because he's Donald Trump. I don't know. Like, that guy must have fucking amazing karma. Like, in order for him to be sliding by through all this shit, like, basically unscathed. Like, nobody really cares that he's doing all this bullshit. Well, that could also be a lie, too. Maybe, there's, like, most of the country that gets mad at him, but CNN and MSNBC and all them, they like to hype up all the crazy shit because it gets more ratings. Like, oh, Donald Trump is saying all this and he's still not being held accountable, and his supporters are still rampant and stuff like that. And I don't know, but last thing I heard was Donald Trump's kid tweeted it out, which I thought was kind of funny. How he tweeted out some emails. Like, tweet is gonna be the national fucking broadcasting system one day. That's gonna be the way that they get the government word out. That's gonna be their new C-SPAN. It's gonna be Twitter. They're gonna be giving out press what the fuck are they called? Press release? No. Meetings of the press statements. I don't fucking know. Those things where Sean Spicer comes out and he starts yelling at people, they're going to be giving those out on Instagram. And then Donald Trump's going to be fucking passing bills through Snapchat. That's going to be the future, people. You guys are all laughing thinking that this is all funny, but that's what it's going to come to. The 46th president, right? Because Donald Trump's the 45th. The 46th president is going to be communicating all through fucking apps on your phone. He's going to be communicating via Twitter. He's going to be giving press statements via Instagram. And then he's going to be giving State of the Union addresses via Snapchat. That's the way it's all fucking heading. If there's ever, a hearing that needs to be done, they're going to upload it onto SoundCloud. And everybody's going to hear it with the ads because nobody wants to pay for SoundCloud. That's another thing I heard, that SoundCloud was apparently going out of business. Which, I don't know if that really affects me. I guess so, yeah, because I got more plays on SoundCloud than I got anywhere else. So I'd be kind of upset if I lost all those. I have 18,000 something plays on SoundCloud. Not to brag or whatever, because that's really not that much, but it's more than I have on my fucking YouTube page. So if I lost all those plays, I'd be kind of upset. What do they spend money on? Because it's an app. Do they spend money on like the servers and stuff that keeps all the memory and all that shit? Is that what they spend their money on? Or are they investing? Are they funding people? Do they have sponsors that they pay for? Or do they sponsor people? Yeah, right? Yeah, because that means that they would have to pay. Do they sponsor people? What the fuck is SoundCloud spending their money on that they're going broke? That apparently they've been losing $25 million a year or something like that. How much does it cost to run an app? Because I've always wanted an app. That's what I want to start doing. You know what? I'm not going to give people my secret because I want to be able to say, this is how I'm going to do it, and then just show it to people instead of giving out my plan and then one day somebody who's further advanced in the game than I am comes back and listens to my advice, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna do it because I have more money and I can do it before he does, and that way I'll get all the credit for this original idea. And whenever he does it and he executes, he's just gonna look like somebody that followed my path, even though I got this idea from him, because that's the way that fucking Hollywood works. Cause they some punk ass bitches, they some hoe ass motherfuckers. Hollywood, oh Hollywood motherfuckers. I would still do a movie though. If somebody offered me a movie, I would definitely take a fucking movie. Just because I want to expand my horizons too. I would like to learn how to act. I don't know if I'd be any good, but I would definitely give it a shot. Cause why not? That's a better fucking branding technique. Start popping up in movies, be like Ludacris, and be like, what's that other guy's name? What's that other rapper? That's always in fucking movies. Well, T.I. is starting to do a whole bunch of movies now. He's starting to pop up in Ice Cube. That's the guy I was thinking about. Ice Cube. He's being more famous from movies than he is his current music. Even though his current music still pretty much bangs. The last album I heard was I Rep That West, or I Am the West. That was the name of his album. I Am the West. It was a pretty good album. That was in 2012, maybe 2011. It's been a while, but that album was pretty good. As far as, people that started off in the 1980s rapping, that's pretty fucking impressive for his last album to be still pretty dope. Like Scarface's last album was dope. I think it was his last album, Deeply Rooted. That one was a fucking amazing album. I really liked it. He had a whole bunch of good songs on it. His beats are fucking amazing, and I know that he produces a lot of his own stuff too. Scarface is somebody I look up to. He's fucking dope. He has some badass beats, especially that song Steer. I don't know what he sampled, who he sampled. That production on that song is fucking amazing. It's incredible. And shouts out to Scarface. Ghetto boys. What do you think was going through Bushwick Bill's mind whenever he pulled the fucking trigger? It's like, I need to get shot in the eye because it'll be good for my publicity. People will start covering it. And he put that shit on the fucking album cover. It's him with that big pussy eye. Not pussy. Well, yeah, but y'all know what the fuck I mean. Like, puss. It's filled with puss. So it's not like a vagina eye, but it's a puss-y in the sense the way that it's filled with puss. Puss? Is that the correct term for it? It was filled with some nasty shit, and he had his hand up to it with a like cloth or something like that. And Scarface is on his right, and then the other guy is on the left. I don't remember the other guy's name, but he's on his left, and they're pushing the hospital bed. Some fucking idiot over there shooting. They're speaking of somebody who should shoot themselves in the eye. Somebody over there. Anyways, they're pushing the hospital bed down the fucking hallway, and there's a cameraman there, and he's like, I'm gonna take your picture, Mr. Bushwick Bill. And he takes the picture, and they end up using it for their album cover. Which, it'll never... Damn, what's the fuck's the name of that album? They Can't Stop Us, or something like that. It's something with not being able to stop them. They can't be stopped. We can't be stopped. I am unstoppable. I don't fucking know. That was, what the fuck do you think was going through his mind whenever he shot it? Like, can you imagine the pain that you would have to go through? Or wasn't he on drugs or something? I read something like that. That he was like on PCP or some shit. But still, like, what kind of fucking drugs you gotta be taking to make blowing your fucking eye out with a pistol sound like a good idea? I need to know, because I need to know what to stay away from for the rest of my life. Because as soon as I turn 50, I'm going to be a little more liberal with the drugs that I'm taking. because I'm like, you know what? This is the end of my life. If I'm gonna fuck up my brain, I might as well do it now. So I might be taking some weird ass crazy drugs whenever I'm 50. I'm gonna be that super hippie 60-year-old who's extremely fucking open and free about shit. That's gonna be me, just freaking dropping acid and taking shrooms and shit whenever I'm 60. Would that deteriorate your body even more, even quicker? Would it fuck it up? Because, you know, you're older and your body doesn't recuperate as fast as it did whenever you were young? Or, you know, does it help you with diseases that you might encounter, like arthritis? And is arthritis a disease? But, you know, stuff like that, like amnesia. Right, amnesia is the one where you forget. Yeah, because you become amnesiatic or something like that. And you forget what the fuck your name is and stuff like that. Yo, my great grandma, she's like 90 something. She's like 95, 96. She might be like close to 100. She's still alive. She has like amnesia. And she's still alive, yo. She's seen like 4 generations of, you know, our family just grow up. It's fucking crazy to think how much of the world you've seen in that 100 years. I don't know if I would want to live 100 years. You know, maybe if I could still walk and I could still, you know, fend for myself, I would like to live 100 years just because I would want to see how different the world is. But if I'm not, then I think I'm good. Just, you know, take me to Canada and, you know, help me end it with that Canadian doctor. Because, you know, nobody would be nicer to you than a fucking Canadian doctor before your assisted suicide. Anyways, 100 years, bro, is a long fucking time to live. Like, that means she lived through the roaring 20s, because it's 2017 and she's about 100, so she would have had to live through the roaring 20s. She would have had to live through, holy shit, that means that she lived through World War II. I know that for a fact. I think she might have been like a baby whenever World War I ended, because I know it started in 1914, but I can't remember when it ended. It was like 1920 something, maybe 21. She might have been a little baby whenever World War I ended. But World War II, she was alive. She was, you know, almost a woman. Well, yeah, she might have been a woman, because like fully grown woman, like 20 something by the time World War II hit. But she was in Mexico. I don't know how deep involved Mexico was into World War II. Did we even partake in it? Or were we just like, you know, well, that's y'all shit. Like, that's some white people shit. You know, you guys go deal with that other crazy fucking white person. He's y'all's family. You know, don't include us in that shit. And we just let the whites settle it amongst themselves. Or did we, you know, pick a side? If we did, what side were we on? I hope we're on the Allies. I'm pretty sure we're on the Allies, because we're close to America. And I don't think, you know, you would want to piss off your neighbor. Not that much. Well, Cuba did. Cuba, you know, pissed off the United States. They wanted to get help by Russia or something like that. And US was like, no, motherfucker. He's like, you do that, you ain't getting shit for the next 50 years. You're going to have to keep recycling everything you have right there. You're going to have to grow your own food. You're going to have to make your own cars. You're going to have to make your own clothes, because you ain't getting no help from nobody, since you want to be a little bitch and you want to talk to that motherfucker on the other side. You ain't getting shit. Like, you ain't getting no new cars, you ain't getting no new cell phones, you ain't getting no new gear, you ain't getting no fucking fresh jeans to wear, you ain't getting no fresh J's, you ain't getting nothing from nobody until we say so. And apparently we finally said so a couple years back, and Donald Trump wants to take that back. which is kind of fucked up. Could you imagine going like 50, 60 years without no progression in your country? You see like no advancement in the technology while the rest of the world is growing. You know, we're doing everything online. And then you get maybe like 2-3 years of some stuff being imported. Because I think maybe we could ship stuff in there now. Get like 2-3 years of shit getting imported into your country, and you start seeing all the advancements, and then they're like, nah, you guys had enough of that. Now you got to go back to living how you were. Fuck that. I would not want that shit at all. Like, I got spoiled in these past 2-3 years that, you know, you guys been sending me all these iPads and all these fucking cell phones to where I can know where I'm going without having to look at a map and get distracted and hopefully not crash into a fucking coconut tree or something that they have commonly over there in Cuba. I would not want that shit because, you know, you can just have some lady tell you how to get to the location that you're looking for. You don't even have to look at your phone if you're a good driver, because whenever they say, you know, 0.2 miles, you just look down at the odometer and you see where the fuck your mileage is at, and then you just be like, okay, 0.2 miles, so it'll be, you know, blah 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 plus the 0.2, and then you just map it out like that, and then you just look for the road. But I don't remember what the fuck I was talking about. Oh yeah, Cuba and Mexico being in World War II. My grandma, that's what I was talking about. 100 years, bro, that's a long fucking time to, you know, see shit change for her. She's seen people riding around on horses and buggies for most of her life. Well, not for most of her life. Well, yeah, probably because she was over there in Mexico. They didn't really have any good cars over there in Mexico until up until recently either. So they're probably riding like horses down the road for most of her life. And then all of a sudden she starts seeing these fucking metal cars that are driving down the road at, you know, 60, 70, 80 miles per hour. And she's seen that slow progression until where you started seeing them almost every day. Like, she can remember a time where there was fucking roads that mainly housed horses, and I'm pretty sure those roads smell like shit, because over here in Texas there's always some jackass on the side of the fucking road riding his horse, and the horse is always just dumping shit out as it's walking. It doesn't even stop, it doesn't crouch, it's just walking, and the mid stride it just pops out like a fucking, like those, have you ever seen those old levers that those old wells that they have with the lever on top and you keep pumping it, and then finally some freaking water comes out after like 8 pumps or something like that, and it just shoots out? Well, that's what happens out of a horse's ass whenever it poops. So it'll be walking, and then mid-stride you just fucking, and it just shoots out some poop. And a lot of times it's in your fucking driveway, because these assholes decide to ride their fucking horse in a like suburban area almost. It's not really suburban, it's kind of back streets, and it's the hood. But there's fucking houses here, yo. There's 18-wheelers that drive by here all the fucking time, and you're over here riding your fucking mid-century beast on the road like a jackass. But she could remember a time whenever that's all there was, and now all you see is, you know, these 4-wheeled mechanical vehicles just driving up and down the road. Up and down the road. Everybody has one. You could get from Texas to Florida in fucking 13, 12 hours, depending on how fast you drive. And there's metal birds flying in the fucking sky. Cause I'm pretty, like, when did the airplanes start, you know, catching on? God, I suck at history, and I know I studied all this shit in school too. Maybe I should have paid attention. I paid attention to all the shit that I knew I was gonna use later on in life, and the rest of it, I was just like, yeah, fuck that. You know, I'm never gonna use the information of the Battle of Little Horn or some shit like that in my 60 years of being whatever profession I choose. Unless I'm a fucking historian, I'm never gonna know anything or hear anything about the battle on fucking Bighorn ever again. It's just not gonna happen. Nobody's ever gonna come up to you at Kroger and be like, excuse me, do you know who led us to victory in the battle of, I don't know, those are the only two fucking wars I remember. Like Little Horn and Big Horn, which might not even be wars. It might just be some fucking item I seen today, and I just, associated it with some type of old place that I heard. I think I might have heard back in middle school or something like that. What was my point to all this? I had a point. Planes, yeah, I remember now. These fucking planes, man. Just flying everywhere. It's all this technology. You call somebody from some little black rectangle that's in your pocket all the time. You could see a person's face who it might be, across the world on this little rectangle in your pocket. And you could talk to him live. That's fucking amazing. In this lady's lifetime, she's seen all that shit happen. That's why I would kind of want to live to be 100 years old. Unless, I gotta be pushed around in a wheelchair, then never mind. I'm good. Just, cancel my lease, terminate early. I'll pay all the fees. It doesn't matter. But living to be 100 and being like fully active, like those random ass people out there in Peru, all they eat is fucking lima beans or something like that, and they end up living to be like 115, and this guy's still over there dancing and shit, fucking doing backflips and fishing and surfing and all this random shit. He's like, oh, the secret is I drink alcohol every day and I eat lima beans. It's like, what the fuck? Like, really, you drink every day? Because I had an uncle and he kind of, drowned in that shit, to put it in a nice way, I guess. He couldn't handle. This fucking train wants to be a little bitch, man. I swear, every fucking time. Always in the middle of the night. One day I'm going to have me a nice studio. I'm going to have me actual walls, insulation. I'm going to have me a central air unit to where I can actually just chill. I don't have to turn off the AC because it's too loud and then you're going to hear it on the podcast. And I'm going to have me a place where the water doesn't get in from underneath the back wall because somebody didn't decide to use sealant on the concrete. Me. And, going to have me a legit building. But I'm still going to want to come back here, so I'm going to own this little shed. And whenever I want to come back for inspiration, I'm just going to come back here and write and, maybe make beats and maybe record in here. But I'll still have me the option to have a better studio somewhere. You think that's how that shit works? To where you get inspiration from, a place you were. Maybe you get that feeling that you felt whenever you were in that place that you were in, whenever you were there. I wonder. I've heard people do that shit all the time, like artists and stuff like that. I wonder if it's really true or is it like a placebo effect and they just think it's happening, but it's really not. It's just all in their head. Like those people that take those fucking studies with the pills It's like, oh, you take this and, it could help with your, I don't know, heart rate. It helps you go to sleep faster or some shit like that. And really, it's just a sugar pill. Then they take it and they're actually falling asleep faster and they think it's because of the pill. But really, they're also getting some fucking rashes and hives and diarrhea because there's some other chemical that is inactive in that pill and it harms them and it doesn't actually help what it is they're trying to treat. That's what's risky about putting chemicals and shit in your body. You never really know how your body's gonna react to it because everybody's different. So that's why they have all those random ass fucking disclaimers of like, bloody diarrhea may cause death, lungs may explode, hair may catch on fire if you take this with this other medication or something like that. That's why they all have those random ass ones, because those are all the possibilities of the people that they know about. There's still a whole bunch of shit that they probably don't even know about that's going to affect somebody in a certain way, and they just haven't encountered it yet because they haven't found a person with that unique set of, genes or whatever. So that's why I don't want to do any drugs that involve chemicals until, I'm later in life. That way, if I do get fucked up, I won't be living like that for long. I have a really fucking grim view on life sometimes. I hear whenever I'm talking out loud. It's like, damn, what the fuck's wrong with me? But that's the way I fucking think, yo. I think you gotta think as life as being only something temporary, because the moment you realize that you're not here forever is whenever you start feeling that urgency to do something. It's like, what do I want to do with this short time that I have? What can I do with this short time that I have, given my set of skills? Sound like Liam Neeson. I have a particular set of skills that I've acquired over the years. And what are you going to do with those skills, Mr. Neeson? Right, that's the name? Liam Neeson? Yeah, Neeson. It sounds like fucking Nissan. I wonder if he's sponsored by them. Liam Neeson Maxima. That's his fucking, that's his dad's or his mom's maiden name. Is Maxima. So it's Liam Neeson Maxima. Anyways, that's why I feel like has a urgency to your life is whenever you start noticing that you're not going to be here forever, and that you could be remembered for longer if you do something great. Which I never really figured out if that's really my motive. Do I want to be remembered? Because I honestly don't give a shit sometimes. Like, I don't care if people talk about me, but I do want to make change. Does that make any sense? You want to change shit, but you don't really care if you're remembered. I don't really care if I get credited with the change that I create. As long as I know that there's change being made, and future people could live not so shitty. I sound like a fucking hippie. Like some really vulgar hippie, I sound like. Let me make sure everything's been recorded. I don't want the same shit to happen what happened last week, so hold on. So I'm back, people. Turns out, yeah, cool. It did actually record this time. I still don't know what the fuck happened last time, man, and it bothers me. Like, you don't know how bad my feelings are hurt. That I wasted 2 hours. That I wasted my homeboys 2 hours as well. On something that I didn't even fucking record. And what's even more fucked up, what really, really hurts my feelings, is that not only did I not give you guys a podcast last week, the week before that, whenever I actually did, was a bullshit podcast. I kept fucking yawning. It was really short because I did it real late. And I don't know what the fuck's up with my sleep schedule, because I've been waking up like at 12:30, like almost 1 o'clock in the fucking afternoon. Yeah, I go to sleep at 4, but Sometimes 5. Maybe that's the whole problem. I have to get my 8 hours in. But still, like, I don't know. I feel like whenever I wake up at 1, I feel like my whole day's fucking been wasted. Even though I know I'm going to be staying up to like 3 or 4 o'clock in the fucking morning. I feel like my whole day's been wasted whenever I wake up at 1. I wish I could stay up longer. I'm going to start doing coke. I'm just kidding. I wish I could stay up longer and not have to sleep as much. I hear that whenever you get a good night's sleep that you don't need as much sleep as somebody who's not getting that good of a sleep, which I might not be getting that good of a sleep because I keep tossing and turning my pillows or shit. I need to buy new ones. I always say that I'm gonna buy new ones, but I never fucking do. My bed's way too fucking soft. I think I need something in between firm and really soft, if that makes any sense. Need something medium. Need something soft. Would that be the word for it? Firm and soft? Soft? Or firm? I need something that's, gonna not feel like a piece of wood, but is also gonna be able to support me. I need a Tempur-Pedic. I need a sleep number bed. I need that sleep number bed. That way I could adjust how comfy. I wonder if those work. You think those work? How much do they cost? Probably like 5 fucking grand. You could control everything now. I'm pretty sure you could connect that bitch to your smartphone the way you do like the Nest thermostats. You could probably fucking connect that bitch to your smartphone and then that shit would be fucking smart. What if you could connect it to your smartphone and you design this app to where based on how much exercise you did, it adjusts to what your body would typically need for that type of exercise or tiredness. What would be the correct term for it? Wearsome? No. It would be correct for that level of tired that you are. I don't fucking know the word for it, and I'm too high to actually sit there and try to think of it. I'm gonna take too long. It's not gonna be good for the flow of the podcast, and I don't really care that much. But yeah, man, what if you did that? And so if you work harder one day, the bed's like a little bit softer, but it's still firm to where it, can support your back and you won't have to be straining your back trying to hold yourself flat. Because I think that's what happens with my bed. Because I'll be sinking in sometimes. I know that's not good. You shouldn't be sinking into your bed. You're apparently supposed to be laying flat. Like your neck and all that shit should be like straight whenever you sleep. And if you don't, then you're not getting a good night's sleep, apparently, is what I hear from some YouTube videos. But I need a new bed. Maybe. Hasn't been 8 years though yet. Does it have to be 8 years, or is that just like a recommended time? Is that something that the big bad mattress companies started coming up with in order for me to keep getting a new mattress every 8 years or something like that? Because what if you don't actually need it? What if it's like those like the expiration dates on foods? Apparently those aren't even necessary. You don't have to put those on there, but the only reason that they do is because they feel like that's when the food might be best by. So you don't even have to pay attention to the actual expiration date, as long as whatever is actually in there still smells and tastes fresh. It's still good. But that's a suggested use by date. Like those aren't even mandatory by the FDA or nothing like that. But what if it's like that? What if it's like a recommended expiration date for your mattress, but you don't actually have to replace it? Like 8 years. I don't know why that seems oddly specific. Why 8? Like, it's not quite 5, but it's not 10, 8. Like, what happens on the 8th year to where your mattress is like, no, I can't take this shit anymore. Like, I must be replaced. What happens? Does it get filled with too much dead skin cells or whatever? Or dust mites or some shit like that? Or some other type of microscopic icky shit that you may be found on your bed? Yo, man, that was some good weed. We bought some shit that was fucking like sealed, like some Cali shit. Like, that shit was some dope. I like good presented weed, man. Like, presentation is half the fun. I keep saying everything's half of everything on this fucking podcast, but the presentation is a good part of smoking weed. Like, what is it put in? How good does it smell? How good does it look? It's half the fun, man. Like, if you got some really stinky smelling weed and it's, really fluffy and it's got a whole bunch of crystals, it freaking sticks together all by itself, that's a great presentation of weed. And the other half is smoking it because you actually taste it and then you get high as shit. So that's the other half. But a lot of it is, with the package that it comes in. And the way the bud is actually textured. And this one was textured real nice. It was like some Cali shit. It was vacuum sealed and all this other shit. I was like, ooh, and it smells so good. It fucking stunk up my whole goddamn room. I had like 1/4 just in like a little those glass jars that you use for pickles and stuff. Well, I don't really know if pickles, but y'all get what I'm saying. Those glass jars, the ones that have the little metal encasement around the lid to close it. I have those for my weed. And whenever I open that shit up, I have just a little quarter in there. That shit will stink up the whole goddamn room, man. That's how you know that shit's good. Fucking stinks up the whole goddamn room. Like, I like the way you smell. I like the way you make me feel even before I smoke it, because just that smell mellows you out. I don't know why. It just smells mellow, if that makes any sense. But yeah, man, I forgot how the fuck I got here. Why am I so far away from the goddamn microphone? Should have been closer. You probably wouldn't been able to hear any of that. But where was I? I'm pretty sure I had a point with all this, right? Probably not. But last week was a terrible podcast. I apologize for that. I was really, really tired. I had a long day. I was frustrated. And then last week, like I told you, I didn't fucking record. I was so pissed. 2 hours and 10 or 20 minutes or some shit like that, man. Over 2 hours, that's all I fucking know. Over 2 hours. And it was like, no. I'm tired of fucking recording for you guys. Because my legs hurt. I don't know what the fuck happened to FL Studio, but it just decided to erase it. It was like, I'm not having this one. This one was too fucking stoner for me. Yes, it's some way too dumb as shit for me to ever, allow you guys to broadcast this. And FL Studio made a judgment call, and it cut the whole scene. It took it upon itself as a producer, because it is the FL Studio 11 Producer Edition. It decided to take it among itself as a producer and be like, no, we're not going to release this one. This one's not going to be released ever, and you will never be able to hear it because it's too long. 2 hours. I keep bringing that shit up, man. That's how you know it fucking bothers me. But what can I do? I can't do shit but sit here and complain to you guys on my podcast about the last podcast that didn't actually happen. It was my stillborn podcast. That's terrible. But yeah, man, it's been a good week for me. hopefully this shit continues, and hopefully, I'll be able to continue to make more music. I actually recorded a song yesterday, which is going to be released separately apart from the EP. And then the EP is going to it's going to be all sampled music. It's going to be all the songs that I sampled, and they're going to be all put together, like, somehow. I don't know how I'm going to, make them fit one body of work. I want it all to be like basically one long song or something like that, for all the songs to flow together. I want it to, be like a movie for your ears. That's what I want. I want that shit to be like a movie for your ears, and you just listen to the 7 or 8 songs that I'm gonna put on there, or how many ever songs I decide to put on there. And I want you to understand the message that I'm trying to get across on this new EP, which is going to be called Pursue. I don't know where I'm going to put it, because apparently SoundCloud might not be around for too long, so I don't know if I should put it on SoundCloud, if I should put it on DatPiff, if I should put it on YouTube. Maybe I should put it on YouTube, just put it as a playlist on Reverb Nation. That's a good thing about living in this fucking era, is that there's so much fucking outlets that you could actually upload your songs to for free. And, you could get heard. You increase your chances of being heard. It's like fishing, if you're only fishing with one line, you only have that one line to catch a fish. But if you're fishing with 5 lines, you have 5 chances of, your bait being bit by a fish, and, you hooking something. So, if I got my songs on Reverb Nation and SoundCloud and YouTube and DatPiff and all that other shit, then, it increases my chances of somebody hearing it that, could, whatever, help me advance my career or something, or maybe just expose me to the right group of people that are going to take my career and run, help me run with it and help me build something, like a loyal fan base or something like that. I'll take that any day over a fucking big ass advance. A loyal fan base, because your loyal fan base is always going to be there if they're legitly loyal. If they're just with you because you're popular for a second, then they're going to leave you as soon as something else that's more popular and more interesting and more relevant comes along. But if you get a legit loyal fan base, and they, will actually support you. Which that's like the thing now, is that I'm noticing, because you'll see artists, and they have their legit loyal fan bases, and they could grow by being a personality. Like, it doesn't have to be just an artist. You have to sell them a personality to go along with that art. Fans are like demanding more and more of these entertainers. I don't know if it's a good thing or not, because back in the day, you used to just give people good music and they loved you for it. And now it seems like the biggest people give you good music. On top of that, they still need to, let you a little bit into their life, whether it be, via music or via social media, like DJ Khaled with Snapchat and all that. He lets you into his life because on his records, he doesn't rap, so he can't really get that personal with himself because other people are rapping. So it's all their words mainly, and whatever he writes for, like the hooks and all that shit. But he can't really be that personal on his own music because he doesn't really rap or sing. But on the Snapchat, he lets you into his life, and people, for whatever reason, want to be into your life. I don't know why that is, because that happens everywhere. Like everywhere I go, people always want to be into somebody's life, and if people don't allow them to be into their life, then they start making assumptions about that person. That shit happens to me a lot. Like people think that I do coke for some weird fucking reason. I don't know why. I don't know where the hell they got it from. I've never done coke in my life. It's never interested me, like whatsoever. And people are always assuming that I do coke. And then they're always assuming that I'm fucking, some random chick. They assume that I'm a whore, a man whore. And I'm really not. I don't really fuck everything that comes at me, that offers me their vagina. Because that's how you catch something, or that's how you end up with a fucking baby with some random chick that you don't really want to spend your life with. But now you have to because you have a child with them, all because you wanted to get your dick wet. So, I don't know, to me it's just not really worth it. Like, what? Have like an hour or two of fun, and then now you gotta deal with the kid with somebody that you don't really care for because you were horny. It's just not worth it. So I don't really, fuck everything that, offers their vagina to me. So, because that's just bad for the environment. It's bad for you and it's bad for the environment, because then all those fucking kids have to grow up and then they all have to drive cars and have their own fucking families and lives and all that shit. So, see, people, I'm thinking green by, putting some pride in my penis and putting a condom on. I'm helping save the earth by rubbing up my penis with latex. But yeah, man, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm just gonna label. That's what I should have labeled this fucking podcast. I think I already said this. That's where I'm at. That's what I should have labeled this fucking podcast. That's where I'm at. And then made the cover art like a little map or something to play along with it. Nah, cause then that shit would have been corny as fuck. I think I like this one better. And it has like a nice ring to it because it's got that alliteration where you use the same first letter of a word multiple times in a sentence to where it kind of sounds like a tongue twister. So it's Toker Talk Tuesday podcast, which I have definitely fucked up who knows how many times already, but you can go back and listen to them and count and leave a comment or tweet me. Tweet me? How does that work? Tweet at me? Hit me up on Twitter. How the fuck do you say that, man? We don't have enough words to keep up with technology, and we need more words to keep up with this technology, because I don't know how the fuck to put that into a sentence. I don't know how to describe that as an action. Would you tweet me? Is that what it is? Would you twit at me? That sounds disrespectful. Twit at me? Like, don't ever, if you ever see me on the street, please don't twit at me. That just sounds rude. I might, have to kick you in the throat. I don't know. Twit at me. Don't do that. But, what the fuck was I saying? I don't know. I don't fucking know anymore. I don't know anything. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do next week. I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do the month before or after that. I just know that I need to fucking work on this. I need to work on my music. I need to keep selling shit. That way, I don't default on my payments and all that shit. Because I have a feeling I might need credit in the future. So I don't want that to go bad. Which is weird. Why the fuck does people need... Well, I mean, I know why you need credit. Because, you can show that you actually pay your bills, that you're responsible. But how did we all agree to this? like as a society, like we're gonna let this person be able to use more money within our system, even though he doesn't have it at the moment, or he does, but we're gonna let him borrow it using our money, which is actually all of y'all's money, and based on how he pays us back that loan that he borrowed is how good of a credit score he has. And the more that he spends y'all's money and pays it back to us, then he could keep buying more things. But if you don't buy more things, then you don't really have that good of a credit score, because you need to use your credit in order for it to be good. And then you need to pay it back like pretty good, you know, to pay some earlier, stuff like that. But you know, it's a weird game we play. It's really weird. I'm pretty sure in the future we're gonna have something better. I don't know what yet, because I'm too fucking dumb to figure it out, but I'm pretty sure somebody smarter than me is gonna find out a way that we could do this shit better. Have you ever seen that video or not that video, that movie where instead of money they give up time of their life? So, you know, if you spend too much time, I guess it is, then you just die early. It's like, man, this guy only lived to be 23, but he lived a hell of a life, because he wasted those other 65 years on a yacht. And, you know, he just had bitches and Dom Perignon all on that fucking yacht. And he just partied for 5 amazing years. But, you know, maybe I'll spend my time on this property, and I'll have a little more time to enjoy this property. That'd be fucking weird. Like, you have to decide what you're willing to die for. Like this hamburger. Like, you know what? I'll give up 5 seconds to indulge in this hamburger. I mean, what's 5 seconds really on the rest of my life? It's like, oh, this cheese Danish? Okay, yeah. What, 2 seconds off of the rest of my life? Okay. I will gladly sacrifice 2 seconds off the rest of my life for this cheese Danish. And then next thing you know, you spent like fucking 18 years. I was gonna say like $1,800, but you're spending time. So you spent like 18 years. And you're like, damn, man, where the fuck did all my time go? Because you're fucking 30 years old, and it already says that you only have like 10 years left. I don't know, that'd be fucking weird. But I'm pretty sure somebody's going to find out a better way than, you know, the credit and all this shit. Like, all this paper stuff is probably just going to be all online. We're all going to agree to one currency, and then all that currency is just going to move within the same stock market without fluctuating values and stuff. Or maybe that's necessary to keep the economy going the way it is. I don't know. I don't know that much about the fucking stock market or any of global economy and all that shit, so I shouldn't be speculating. But you know what? I think I've gone on long enough with this. It's been a pretty good podcast, and I didn't yawn as much. I was still a little butthole by yawning a couple times and stopping and all that shit, but I apologize. I will try to do it earlier next week, and I'm actually happy that this one recorded. So this has been the Toker Talk Tuesday motherfucking podcast, and I will be back with another one next week on Tuesday. So stay tuned, because this is your boy Ro. I have a lot more coming than just a podcast. So stay tuned and follow me on all my social network platforms. Platforms. You heard it here first. Toker Talk Tuesday podcast, and we're signing out. Peace.